Welcome to Borderline Furniture, project number 32 for the Flippin' Friends Challenge. This challenge is hosted by Krystal at the Krafty Creech, and I'm co-hosting this challenge. I'm from Borderline Furniture RX. The name of the game in this challenge is Bring Your Own Best Friend. I'm Mara. This is my husband Paul, also my BFF.
And this is our project.
This is a rolling buffet that got toasted in a house fire. So, I have a garage full of broken down furniture. Why did you pick this one for our project?
So I picked this piece because I really liked its functionality, and I knew you could turn it into something that was better than what it is in this state.
All my projects begin with a thorough cleaning, and here I'm using Dawn dish soap, a little bit of TSP, and some hot water. It's really important that I clean this piece because it's been in a house fire and there's soot everywhere. This is the second piece that I've done that's been in a house fire, and if you look closely, you can see that it looks like the varnish melted. That stuff is just such a pain to get off. I'm going to apply a healthy dose of Strip It and pray for the best.
So while Myra's cleaning the table, or cleaning the buffet rather, I'm disassembling what's left of this table and being harassed by Oakley, as usual. So an important part of making the buffet live again is replacing the top. And we were lucky enough to find a table that the previous owner had thrown in their burn pile to use as a top for the buffet. And they told us at one point it was a pretty good table. When that was, I'm not 100% sure, but it's what we're working with.
Yeah, and this has to be resized so it can fit through the planer.
So I know that it seemed a little counterintuitive that we had to cut down the wood, but our planer is a 13.5 inch. Is that right, Mar?
I think that's right.
Yeah, so we had to cut it down so it would fit through our planer. And what we got out the other side was, I was fairly amazed. I mean, if you can see it going in, it looks pretty scabby. And when it comes out, it's better than anything we could buy at Lowe's or Home Depot. So here we are joining the wood together, and we're using Tight Bond 3. And you may notice that some of the wood grain, it's lighter and then it goes to dark and light again. And we really wanted a butcher block look. And what I would say for this piece is if we did it again, I would try to use a biscuit joiner just to make sure that it really had a sturdy hold when we put it together. Now with the Type Bond 3, we had seen that somebody else used that in another video, and it really does work well. I have no complaints of it, but I think just the biscuits would help.
Okay, you guys, you heard it here first. I'm getting a new biscuit joiner. So this is the Eco Stripper that I ordered from Amazon, and what do you think?
I thought it was a really good alternative to the other strippers that's on the market. I mean, it was easy to use. When I used the putty knife, it came off pretty well, and then it didn't gum up the sander that I noticed. So I thought it was really good. So Mara gave me the job of taking the top off the buffet, and luckily none of the screws were stripped out, and it came off pretty easily.
This is Paul's first time using my Surf Prep sander. So what do you think?
I think it better work for the money we paid for it, but in all seriousness, it really did. It went head to head with another sander that we have, and this one really did a great job. I've truly enjoyed using it, and I thought it took less time to do more work.
We are using Rust-Oleum primer to prevent any problems with paint adhesion or bleed through. What the heck is this? This is not the color that was on the outside of the can. This is Oops paint, and I guess you get what you pay for. So I was just thinking, if they can tint it in the store, I can tint it at home. I have a lot of paint here, so I just added some color. You can let me know what you think in the comments. Spray painting can leave the surface sort of pebbly, and so what I like to do between coats of paint is to sand the surface with a worn out sanding sponge. The worn sanding sponge really knocks back that pebbly effect without scratching the paint. And for the final step, I'll just seal this with some polyacrylic.
So here's another piece of video, exciting piece of video I might add, of me sanding the tabletop. And then it will transition into using the router to go around the tabletop to make sure the edges were the way we wanted them. And I really like this smaller sand router for this job.
I'll be creating a custom color for the top of this buffet, and I'll also be speeding this up to keep us awake. This is a super easy process. I'm using 1 part Odie's oil to 2 parts super solvent. Then I'll also be adding 1 to 2 teaspoons of the color, and this color was black, but it actually came out looking kind of brown. No complaints here, it came out beautiful. If you'll pay attention to the lower left of the screen, you'll see where Oakley's little waggly tail ended up getting in the stain.
I found out right away because her waggly tail got right on my pants, stain everywhere.
If this had been any other stain, I probably would have been worried, but since this is Odie's oil, I knew it was safe and I wasn't worried about us or the dog. I promise I didn't put Oakley on timeout. She's just sitting there patiently waiting for me to throw her ball. This was probably the most crucial part of the whole project. Since we had to purchase new hardware, and even though we measured it several times, there's always some apprehension when you think about the screws going through the top of your finished piece. After the original hardware was cleaned, it was painted black, and then we sealed it with some black wax. And now for the final step, installing the hardware. And that means that we are ready for the final reveal. Just a reminder of where we started.
And here is our completed project.
Thanks to our host, Krystal at the Krafty Creech, and all the participants in this challenge. Please check out the playlist and the outtakes at the end of this video. So step up here just a little bit.
You didn't have a thing on the ground.
Yep.
I didn't know where my mark was.
Okay. So I'm Mara.
And I'm Paul.
You can't say that's not your line. I forgot my line already. I'm Mara, and this is my husband, Paul. Oh, God, this is hard. I'm Mara. This is my... Just got your nose. I'm Mara. This is my husband Paul, also my BFF.
And this is our project.
All right, let's do that one again.
Okay.